Yeah, well, have you? Where do you see people come up now?
Yeah, go face it the other way. Stand it up. That, can you get us both in? Yeah, that's us. We're live.
Oh yeah, there's 2 people watching.
Carl's a technophobe, so you have to bear with us. Yeah, so I can see people. We're live though.
Yes. Give it a few minutes.
Yeah, sound. There we are. Someone wants to join, no chance.
What's that?
Says someone wants to join us. Is that a question? Alright, boys. Yes.
Yes, Andy. Yes, Tom. So, put a poll out the other day. Not a poll. Put a story up the other day talking about online versus in-person training. So Lewis has kindly helped me out with this. It is my first live, so we are just going to talk about it and talk pros and cons. Obviously, Lewis is more dominantly online at the minute.
Yeah.
I'm dominantly in person, so both perspectives on it. Yeah, so we'll get going. So first things first, I just want to make it clear, I'm not against online training. It might have come across like that on the story the other day, but I just want to make that very clear that I'm really not. What I am against is the reason behind why some people go into it. I think it's not about helping people. Sometimes it's about helping themselves. And I think, do you agree with that, Luke?
I 100% agree,
Yeah. So, yeah, it's not personal to no one. I just don't agree with people going online too quick. What's the word I'm looking for? Inexperienced. And any other coach would probably agree with that. I think you'd have to get some actual coaching experience beforehand. But yeah, each to their own. So, yeah, first things first, Lou. We'll talk about the main thing, the clients.
The clients, always the main thing, yeah. Because
you're always going to get different types of clients. And I think online versus in person, it's 2 very different clienteles. Would you agree?
Definitely.
Yeah. So in person, what I find, it's someone who needs that little bit more accountability, like someone who's there to crack the whip occasionally. What do you find with online? Most clientele, again, the perfect clientele are people who are already trained because they're just trying to optimise it because they already have the same with experience, you already have an idea. But you do have people now because of a lockdown who are brand new, which is obviously harder to coach someone. But these people are usually a little bit more self-motivated. Yeah. So I was going to agree with that. Because like, if I was using it from my own personal experience, if I was probably going to get a coach, it'd probably be online because of my training background. Do you know what I mean? And like, I know I'm the type of person that I can push myself on my own, whereas I know a lot of my clients, they can't. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's where you might find your differences in whether that is online or in person. That's the first point. I think as well with more in-person clients, you can dive more in depth with them in terms of like guidance, whether that's technique, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Whereas online, mate, I think it's just guidelines, little nutrition.
Yeah, so online's more like, again, you do cover that. The more people give you in terms of data, you know, they can record themselves doing a technique and then you can critique that technique. This is what people who come into the industry don't know, like, or don't expect. They think that's one day of checking a week and then you don't have to work for 6 days.
Yeah.
Whereas it's like technique checks, you know, the nutrition's obviously the main focus, but then it is a little bit more less hands-on with obviously going over technique. It's just more like, okay, there's a video there that shows you exactly what to do, follow it to a T, we'll try and tweak it, but with you it's obviously, you know, you're actually, you can move people.
You're more hands-on, yeah. Do you find as well, Lou, just from a personal question, what type of goal is the clientele more likely? Is it weight loss?
Yes, usually it's aesthetics of body composition and looks is going to be optimal online, whereas, you know, if you're getting people who want to move better or they want to, they're athletes and you want to perform better, then in person can obviously have its place as well.
Yeah, I think that can be done online as well.
Yeah. Again, it depends on the person,
on the experience, on the coach's experience as well. Cool. I think as well in person, when I'm teaching clients, I think the commitment's obviously bigger because you've scheduled in an actual appointment and it's dear. Yeah. It's more expensive. Would you agree with that?
100%. And from experience, like, the accountability is less because you don't see no one, so it does take that little bit more discipline. And it's one thing to, as a coach, is frustrating is that when something doesn't get done, do you know what I mean? And you're expecting to get done, but when they come to the session, of course it's getting done because you're there with them.
And I suppose that can work on like certain goals as well. So say you are on like a strength program. Obviously with you there, they might push a little bit harder when they might get higher on the percentages, whereas online you might just be like, I've done that, but you actually don't know.
Yeah, they don't know exactly. Yeah. It's more of a, you know, this is what they've told me, and you're taking people's word for it in a sense. Say with nutrition, you know, have you tracked everything? Yes, okay, I have to take your word for it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, there's different things with online. I want to clarify as well as that there's different levels to online coaching. So obviously you've got like, you know, lower ticket, high volume like group programs. You've got in the middle where it's bespoke online, but it's not really bespoke. And then you've got the bespoke end, which is again, everything is tailored to individual needs. Nothing's really copy and pasted. And that's more in depth. That's when you're working, you know, multiple hours per week with the client online, same as you would have them in the gym. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not just that check-in day. It's like I have 2 check-in days a week with the same client. We do nutrition check once a week on a separate day. Loads of different bits. You know, it's not just one day. So I think there is a different level of service which can be broken down. And same with coaching one-to-one, is that there's not just one specific way of coaching one-to-one.
I think as well, mate, like touching on that point, like I think you will get more bang for your buck in terms of money online.
Yes.
If it's suitable for you. I had a girl comment on the post the other day, and she said she lost more weight with an online coach in 3 weeks than she did with a PT 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And I get that.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Because you're getting a PT 3 times a week is probably touching anywhere between 90 quid to a $1.
Easy.
Whereas you might be paying that a month and getting 5-6 sessions a week. Is that accurate?
Yeah, so similar to that like, we all know PTs generally, a PT or a personal trainer, you go to them, you might train twice a week, 3 times a week, and generally it's like, alright, see you next week, do this.
Yeah.
Whereas online, it's the whole thing fits into under one umbrella, so it's not like you're getting more bang for your buck in terms of what you're paying. But obviously, and you don't have to pay for the coach's time as much. You don't have to pay for the coach's rent for the gym, and all that stuff comes into play.
That plays a factor as well, and I think that's what people need to understand when it is a one-on-one bias. There is a lot of factors going into it, and time is being the main one. Whereas you don't get time back, do you know what I mean? Whereas online, I think you can spread that time across different...
It's not as like an hour for that person today. It's like 5 hours for the group of people today. And then, you know what I mean?
So, 100%, mate, 100%.
But like, again, going back to that, I've got the best results with online versus one-to-one. And I think that just comes down to me being not as good PT back in the day. So like, again, not checking up on people's nutrition, not checking up on people's activity outside of the 2 sessions. But now, because I know exactly they're doing 4 or 5 sessions, they're tracking nutrition every day, they're hitting the step count every day, I can control all their metrics, which I now do with one-to-one anyway. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Through like the true coach and stuff. So.
Just out of curiosity, Lou, how long was you an actual hands-on PT before you transitioned?
So, I was saying this to you before, but like, I think I've been in the industry for coming up to 4 years this year. But then obviously I am a PT. Just when we went into lockdown, I got associated as just online. I didn't promote obviously one-to-one or nothing like that. I have one-to-one clients who've came online and he won't come back to one-to-one, which is interesting, the topic itself. But yeah, so I've been hands-on for like, 3 years nearly, and then online for a year.
So it's like 2 years in the gym.
One online, and then I'll go back to 50-50 then.
Yeah, so that's sort of similar to what I agree with, mate, in the sense that
I've learned the ropes.
Exactly, like you've laid that foundation, being hands-on, and I'm not saying that you can't learn that online, but I think it would be harder. It'll limit you, because to be a better coach, we'll get to coaches in a minute, but to be a better coach, I think you need to coach.
Yeah.
And it's simple as that, do you know what I mean?
You need to coach different people as well.
Exactly, because there's more goes into it rather than just, it's black and white. There's not just anatomy, there's stuff like that. Someone moves different to another person, someone might have an injury, stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's a good ground to actually learn and grow as a coach. Because I will transition to online. I was saying to you before, when I will transition there. But I think that comes down to yourself as a person as well. Like, what type of coach are you? Are you a more hands-on coach, or are you a more sit on your desk and
tell you what to do?
Coach, what type of coach you are? What satisfies you more? And I think there's a place for both of them. It just depends on that individual person.
That's like with me. I don't feel like I've fully earned my stripes as a PT, so that's why I'll go back into the gym and I'll keep learning about, okay, this client moves differently to that client or whatever, and then I can take that with me online. But at the same time, I've been fortunate for being online, which has obviously been very good, and then obviously I get results online as well. So bit of both is always going to be good, and I don't think I always say this, but I don't think I'll never stop coaching.
Boss.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Boss. So yeah, just to clarify, we're not against online. I'm not against online coaching.
And I'm not against face-to-face.
These just are personal opinions. I think, again, I think the lines get blurred when people are in it for the wrong reasons, and I don't know what they teach on personal training courses these days, but it seems as soon as someone passes, I'm an online coach.
I think that's what, I think there's a misconception, and I think people think it's easier to be an online coach, when in actual fact I've found that it's a lot more work, because there is more systems, and you think that you can earn more money by doing less work, and sadly the world doesn't work like that. You earn how much you help someone, and it'll come back and pay you dividends, you know what I mean? So the more work you put into it, the more you'll get out. But people think they can just jump in, charge whatever they want to charge per month and get 50, 100 clients and be like, I'm signed, I'll go to Dubai. Whereas it doesn't work like that.
I think the point I was getting at the other day, mate, I think people are in it for as like a fast track to be an influencer. Someone actually commented on that, and I massively agree with it, do you know what I mean? And that was the overall point I was getting at. People think, like, you see that girl on the news the other day talking about, like, Dubai, she has to go there, do you know what I mean? Talking lockdown and stuff. And I think that's where it can get blurred. It's like you're in it to help people, or you're in it to help yourself, sort of thing.
Yeah, like, again, I'm always like, anytime I get a message, it's not because usually of the results, it's about how you treat your clients. So when people see that you treat your client more than they want the results, that you want them more than them, that's when it is good, obviously. But people just don't really care about the clients, wouldn't even know many clients' names or what they do or the background, and then think they can just go and travel. It's a bit weird for me, because obviously I'm part of a group which is online coaching, as in like a mastermind group with them, and they all live in Dubai and they have a really good life and they help loads of people. But I know them as coaches are really fucking good. Whereas I think that people just assume that, and it's just a number on a piece of paper. Do you know what I mean? But these guys, I know these guys don't. But there's that's what I say with the influencer. You just want to be able to go and travel and do this, and not really earn the stripes.
I get that. It's like, you can relate to it as like a driving test, can't you? They learn you to pass the test. You actually learn how to drive on your own.
Exactly.
That's a good analogy, isn't it? So like, I think you're going to learn how to be a coach, actually doing the groundwork, and then you can obviously progress into online. But listen, that's just my opinion with it. People might think otherwise. So another thing with the clients as well, with in person, I think it's dependent on the client again. I think it's good because they get the experience in going to a gym.
Yes.
Like, the gym might have equipment that they might not have at home. blah blah blah, or whatever the training. And I think that's a big element of it as well. Like, I know when I'm teaching clients, I know they like coming to the gym to actually speak to other people, not just myself. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's a like a community sense. Yeah. I think that's just a massive element of it as well. Again, just goes back to that individual person, what they prefer, and who you're marketing it to as well. I think as well. Like if someone works for themselves and they're free throughout the days, I think they'll probably go for a more personal training.
Exactly.
Whereas if it's someone who works 9 to 5 and they've got kids, then they might not have the time to.
There's always going to be a market for people who want to come to the gym, and that's why I've got a group of people who I'll coach face to face, 162, 163. And these people will always come to the gym, but they've transitioned online, obviously during lockdown, but they'll always be the people who I'll train face to face, and then everyone else, who again, like my audience, who don't really need to come and see me, because if they're a lad, 25, 35, who travel a lot, or they're looking to put on mass, training twice a week is not going to be optimal anyway, so I'm going to be programming outside of them sessions anyway, so you might as well not pay me for them sessions and get all of it in under one umbrella.
Well, it's funny you should mention programming, because like I know myself when I'm training clients, depending on the goal, the sessions I get them to do outside the gym are sessions that I know they're able to do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So like for the hard ones will be with you.
Yeah. So like the strength sessions might be with me, and then they might be say to me, we'll be training tomorrow, I'll go, yeah, do something light, you'll probably feel a little bit beat up, do you know what I mean? And I know what to give them there and then, whereas you will as well online. So I think, again...
But some people won't online.
It's definitely. Yeah, interesting. So we'll jump on to the next one. Right, the next one, the coaches. So pros and cons to the actual coaching. I think an in-person PT, one of the cons is it's more time consuming.
Definitely.
Whereas online, you've sort of got that freedom.
Yeah, so you've got a lot more freedom. Like, again, that's used Dubai, but I went to Dubai before Christmas for the mastermind, and I was able to coach everyone as normal. Like, I was there all the time anyway. Whereas obviously people in the gym, I was away for a week and I wouldn't see them until next week. So you've got a lot more freedom, but at the same time, I think it takes. It's a weird one. It's a weird one. Do you know what I mean?
I think as well. Like, I think. Again, it's always going to link back to what type of person you are and what satisfies you, whether that's being a client or whether that's being a coach. I think a lot of people as well, they don't realise that an online coach is a desk job.
It's a desk job. Like Chris, Optimal Performance, I go to him now and he works on my traps and my shoulders because I'm on a desk all day. Like, my hips are tighter, everything's tighter, whereas when you're in the gym, your expenditure's higher, you're moving more, you're helping more people. Whereas it is quite a lonely job, massively lonely job, because you're just working all day. Yeah, you might see how many clients, but you're basically working for yourself, you're making your own decisions there.
It's seeing them on computers as well, isn't it?
It's just a desk job.
It's not that social interaction as well, so I think, again, it completely goes back to what satisfies you as a person. Because I know, it might be a little bit more time consuming, but you're actually hands-on for that hour or how many hours you're in person with a client. And I think the more hands-on experience you get, the more coaching experience you get. That's going to make you a better coach.
And then my angle's like, my goal is to always help as many people as possible and make it accessible for as many people. Some people can't afford to pay £100 a week for face-to-face, so I wanted to make it accessible to more people, and then give them the best possible service for that money as well. So again, that's one of my goals, to help as many people as possible. I know it sounds cliche for a PT, but it's true. You don't want to just help like 10 people because you can afford to pay it. I want to help as many people as I can because people need help, basically. And you can do that more through online because, again, time's not exchanged for hours, and I don't have to be in the gym 6:30 till 9:30 at night.
You can work from anywhere. It's like that as well, mate, like leading from that point. I think in person, it's more of a personal impact, whereas online, I think it's more of a mass impact.
Yes, definitely. Again, that's where it depends. Like you can have your group programs. Again, you pay 40 quid and you can have 200 people on that, and they're all, you're not taking into consideration injuries or macros, you're just giving them calories and follow that. Again, 1% of people might get results, they'll post that, it looks good. But that's a different topic. But then you've got the higher end PT or online coaches. I count myself as, I don't do any group stuff, I just do purely one-to-one, and you do pay for that bespoke service. I think there is definitely borders to online as well. So it's not just under one umbrella.
Yeah, because as I say, mate, my experience with it, like, I've recently just launched Train Smart Feel Good, and that's an online coaching program. That's what that's going to be, do you know what I mean? So it's not bespoke, like you're saying. That's just for the masses. With a program who's going to, I'm judging off the people who purchased it. I know the types of people who purchased it are the type of people who can train on their own.
They don't need all that, exactly.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Yeah.
And I think as well, like, obesity, and that's a problem, like, we know that, like, there's loads of people who need help. Yeah. And some people would be suited to a group program. Absolutely fine, they'll get results, you know, and you look at me and go, why do I need to pay that when I can get a group program for that? That might work for you, but for most people that doesn't work for you. So there's always going to be different people for different things. Same with cars. If one car worked all the time, everyone would buy that one car. Why can you buy a Beamer and you can go and buy a Jeep and you can go and buy a van? Because you all have different roles.
Yeah, great mate, good
analogy.
Good point that, spot on. Another thing with online as well, what I personally find, this is just my opinion again, it might be different, this is why you're here, so check me on it if I'm wrong. It's more of a business, like there's more branding, there's more social networking. Do you agree?
Yeah, like from a business perspective it would make more sense. Yeah. Because again, you could probably make more money. Again, people say that you're working less time, it does not less time, but you could probably make more money. Unless they were paying a premium to PT with them. Again, if you can only do 10 sessions per day at X amount, but then you can go and train 30 people online.
Yeah. I think it as well, like, people don't understand, like, I only know this since launching Train Smart, like, I'm not that active on my Instagrams, like, you probably know, like, if you look at Lewis's story, he's probably got loads on there from today, like, I've probably got one, do you know what I mean, from, like, the UFC also, not related, because I've been coaching people all morning outside, you've probably been coaching people all morning online.
And that's how it should be, you shouldn't be posting anyway when you're coaching people.
That weren't on personal, mate.
Do you know what I mean?
It's just
I agree. Like, in order to showcase what you do, you've got more, you're online more, you're on social media more. But when you're face to face, you don't need that because you've got your clients.
Yeah, but what I find with the especially launching Train Smart Feel Good again, it's time consuming wanting to post stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Massively.
And I think that's just, again, going back to me as a person. Yeah. Like, I'm not that way inclined where I want to be on my phone 24/7, do you know what I mean? Or I don't matter. Because I think, again, that's another topic we can talk about, but I think, as health, I don't think it's healthy to be on phones and computers all day long, do you know what I mean? Sitting down. So, I think that's just me as a person where I'm trying to find a yin-yang with it. And I understand, like, the way the world is now, especially with the lockdowns. I understand why so many people transfer all to online. I get it. Like, there's no other option. Like, I understand that. But good chat this week. I'm enjoying it.
Again, like, we're not trying to like sell one or the other. It's just like, it's a conversation about what works, and one works well for a lot of people. One works well for a lot of people. Yeah.
It's just again, mate. It's our opinions through our own experience. They're not facts. Do you know what I mean? You take them as they are. But Lewis has been an online coach now for 2 years. A year, and he's been a coach in the game for like 4 years. I've been in the game for like 8. And it's only recently when I'm dipping my toe in the online, do you know what I mean? So it's just different perspectives, mate, which is good, and this is what we need more of. One thing I did find as well throughout this lockdown, mate, when I have been training a few of my clients via Zooms and stuff, it's not that it's hard, but I can imagine it to be, I don't know, mate, what's the word I'm looking for? I can imagine it to be like quite, like I'm checking, because I know how they move. Yeah. Whereas if it's a new client, I don't know how they move.
Yeah.
Do you find?
So again, the more data or the more feedback you get, the better from a client point of view.
So do you have like, like assessments and stuff?
Yeah, so like again, like we usually like the first couple of weeks are like, this is what we've initial consultation form and all that sort of stuff. Have you got any existing injuries and stuff like that? Then we'll program it based on their movements, but then it comes down to them as a client to give you more feedback. They just can't say, okay, I did 10 lunges each leg and it felt alright. Just put 3 times 10 each leg. I'd be like, how did it feel? No. Was it okay? Any niggles, whatever.
So you're relying on their word?
You're relying on their word, yeah. But the more input you get from the client, the more input you get from the coach.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can ask so many questions.
Yeah,
I need to have answers.
100% we can get it.
That's the toughest thing from my perspective, is that I'm used to being in the gym and seeing something and going, oh, you might want to tweak that, or that looks like your ankle mobility is a bit crap, or whatever it may be. But then when you don't get any feedback off that, you sort of don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
100%. Because like I know myself, when I get a new client, never met the person, I'll do like a movement screen with them first and foremost, as well as a consultation. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we can go from there. Then, so yeah, no, interesting to hear, mate. As I say, different perspective, Luke. Massively appreciate it. Yeah, so that leads us into our next point, mate. I think the more hands-on you are as a coach, in my personal opinion, and my experience, you learn really good individual cues.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like, it could be something little, like on like a deadlift. Imagine you've got an orange under your armpits, bang. You know what I mean? The more experience you've actually got hands-on with a client, I think the more experience you gain with like the likes of cues and stuff like that, and like the intention you want from the client. Whereas feed me something from online.
So I think that you need that before you go online.
Boss, well,
you know what I mean?
This is the point we're getting
Yeah.
at.
Like if I see a form video, I know, okay, tweak that, or put your lat in your back pocket, bing, and then send me next week 10 times better.
Yeah.
Whereas if people haven't got that experience, you just straighten your back, but how do I straighten my back? Okay, maybe twist the bar.
No cue.
Okay, yeah. They don't know what the cues actually do.
Yeah, 100%, mate.
But then again, that comes down to more feedback with things, and I think you'll always get like, again, if you're there with me now, even though I've been training how many years and I squatted, guarantee you could give me 10 cues on how to fix it. Yeah. But everyone's gonna have that. Do you know what I
mean? Yeah. And then that leads us into like the anatomy of everyone individually. Do you know what I mean? So like, I think a positive and a massive bonus from online, in-person training is when you do have that movement screening. I don't know if any other PTs do this when they get a client in, but I know I do, and I know the coaches who work in this gym do. Everyone's anatomy is different.
Yes.
So you give them exercises to actually help them, whereas
biomechanics and movement patterns.
I think you touched on it before in terms of like it's their word against yours and like what assessment you get, but you actually don't know that to 100%.
Same with like, this is what I mean, like I'll use an example. I started a client yesterday, uploaded progress pictures. I don't start unless I've got pictures, and then I can see that he's got rounded shoulders. Okay, now we're going to put him in face pulls, we're going to work on the rear delt to pull them shoulders back. Someone who's not been a coach before would not know how to do that or what to program it in. Or if you get someone who says, you know, I did a cable row, but I can't feel it in my lats. Okay, think about going towards your hip. Alright, sound. But people who haven't experienced that wouldn't know how to cue that. Yeah. So again, it comes down to that.
Individual.
You know what I mean? Individual.
Yeah.
But you're right in saying like, but I go off pictures, and that's why weekly pictures I can see how the posture's changed, or they may say, I've had a niggle in my right knee this week. Okay, let's go reverse lunge instead of split squats. So many different.
Yeah, to just show it's constant feedback, isn't it?
But again, that's just me. I don't know what other people are doing, and I assume they probably wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? I'll be totally honest.
Yeah.
So like, that's just me, and I know what I do as a coach. That's what I do. So.
And would you say you've learned that through experience, hands-on?
Massively, yeah. If someone said to me, I've got a sore knee, when I was new, I'd be like, all right, it'll be fine, it'll go. But then you'll start thinking, okay, why is that working? Is it your ankle? Is it your knee? You need to work backwards, not forwards. How severe is it? All this stuff. So I think you need to have experience to do it. 100%.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not against jump online from the off like you are. Like, again, we're the same. You need to have experience. and you need to know how people move for safety, for progression. That's why results come online, is through people who know what they're doing.
Yeah. And I think it comes down to like, are you in it to help yourself be a better coach, or are you in it to help yourself be a better businessman?
Yeah,
would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Because I know, like, in person, like, take this gym for example, when I program sessions for this gym, there's 30 people in a class. So I've got experience with teaching a class for 30 people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, like, that experience leads into me and my experience to effectively program. If I can do it for 30 people, I can do it for one.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
So, like,
there's going to be different cues for different people.
Yeah. And I think that's a massive bonus for in-person PT. I think that beats the online, in my opinion. I don't know. This is where you're at. This is where you're at. If you disagree, just...
No, and what I'll come back with that is that because I've worked with so many people online, I have well better understanding of how different people work. You know, that client was similar to that client. He did well with that. Okay, he might do well with that. And you've got sort of similar people. But at the start, when I went online, I was having issues with people because I didn't know what to do with them.
Yeah, so you've actually gained experience
online?
I've
gained experience from working with more people.
Online?
Yeah, online.
Yeah, so this is where, like, I need to get me thing from.
And then I'm like, you know, especially females, menstrual cycle and stuff like that. When I was a PT in the gym, I wouldn't go, what we hear on your cycle?
Yeah.
You know, tell me where you're at your period. But then when
did.
when you're like online, you're tracking it, and you can see the trends, you're understanding, okay, that's what them two clients do, and this client's going to guarantee be exactly the same. And it happens. You just tend to, you get more traction.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%, mate. So that's actually interesting.
It's interesting to think, actually.
Very interesting to hear that.
And I'll take that into one-to-one then.
So that maybe might be the new era now that we're in. Like, I think I'm pretty old school, and where I've come from doing a lot of groundwork. Like, when I first got into the game, mate, I used to pick people on machines. So, say, for example, even on an ab crunch machine, I picked them and showed them alternative exercise.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? That's how I sort of started, and then I was like, bam, and it went from there. So, it's actually interesting to hear that you can actually gain experience online, and that just might be the new era, mate. Do you know what I mean?
No, I think from that point of view as well, is that when, like, for example, again, my audience is probably different to yours. Yours is focused on performance, and you, again, like, you obviously want to move better, feel good, train smarter.
Oh, here we go.
Mine's more, majority of people want to look better, and you want to feel better, and you want to have a better mindset. That's my whole ethos: body, brain, and business. They're wanting to work on all three.
Yeah.
With the body, you know, I might have someone who's skinny fat, and I've never worked with someone who's that type. Okay, what do I do with them? When you work with 20 people who've got the same sort of physique, you know how to program it more efficiently. And that's what. But again, it comes down to experience. No matter what. So you've got to work with people in order to understand how people work. I take that quote.
No, mate, boss. Like, again, it's very interesting, and I think this topic as a whole, I think it's a really good topic to talk about. I'd definitely dive in more detail with more coaches. So,
but again, we're in this to help each other. Like, I'm so open with, like, I know the pros and cons of both. With my perspective, and I know that. But at the same time, something's always gonna be give, or something's gonna excel more. That makes sense. It's just got to choose what that is for the right person.
And I think as well, like, as you say, mate, I think like health and wellness, it all falls under the same umbrella. Whether that's in person, whether that's online, if you're helping someone the smallest way possible, you're doing a job. But what I find, mate, with online, like, I'm sure people would agree, I'm sure you might agree, some of the messages are getting wrongly promoted, should I say. And I don't think that's doing, whether that's online or in person.
From what point of view? From the clients or from coaches?
From coaches.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? But again, I think it goes back to experience and that person, the one who's providing the service. But I feel like in person and online, but I think more so the last year, obviously because of the pandemic and stuff, I think you're feeling more of the online. Do you know what I mean? So, like, I think people are taking...
It's just normal now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think people are taking, like, credit of, like, 4 week transformations. Do you know what I mean? And that's...
It's getting smaller, isn't it?
Do you know what I'm saying?
Shorter,
and I think it's like the gaps, like, I don't think that's a good message for health.
No, I'm the same. So like, I just back myself up with this is that I do a minimum of 4 months because we do a 12-week cycle, and then I want to transition you into real life. So if you do a 12-week cut, I'm not going to leave you there because you don't know, you might know how to come out of the diet. So you'll spend a month going into maintenance or going into a gaining phase. So that's why we do a minimum of 4 months so that you can gain experience in both. I'm not just going to leave it and go, come back in 12 weeks and you put that weight back on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want people to be able to sustain it. And again, that's just my thing as a coach, but I totally agree.
Yeah.
It's getting shorter. 8 weeks, 6 weeks, 4 weeks, do this. It's not going to be sustainable or it's not going to gain anything.
Yeah.
Just cash.
So I think that's where great points, mate, and I think that's where it all stems from, cash. So it goes back to that point that I mentioned at the start, is you need to help yourself become a better coach, or you need to help yourself
pockets
get bigger.
There's definitely that conversation, definitely.
And I think, mate, I think as a whole for like health, I don't think that's a great message to spread. And I think as well, going back to the point that you might see someone promoting a workout in like hot pants, do you know what I mean? And I think that's gonna like affect people in a different way in terms of health. Do you know what I mean? Like going back to them influencers, blah blah blah. So I think the question sort of relies on, again, are you in it to help yourself or are you in it to help other people?
Yeah, and we can see that from the outside. I mean, we've spoken about this before, and you can see from the outside people's intentions of things, 1,000,000%. We say about good coaches and not so good coaches or whatever, but it's definitely a mixture of both. I'm totally against. I'm on point with you with like the shorter, quicker fixes and the courses. I'm not about that because I am a one-to-one coach, but I am a one-to-one online coach as well. Yeah, if that makes sense. So it's definitely interesting. Like.
It's really interesting, me, and I'm glad we had this conversation. Like.
Yeah, that's all right.
You got anything else to add on it?
I did have something there then, but it's gone. I don't know what's happened there. But no.
Has anyone got any questions?
Yeah, ask any questions. Have a scroll through and see
Fire
if there's
them
any
in, fire
questions.
them in.
Just Neill on the... So scroll down, it's on that. Let's see if anyone wants to put any questions. Doesn't look like, but...
Don't be shy now, come on.
Yeah. I'm having a great time. Yeah, I would like boys, that's it, from the start.
Yeah.
Scroll down to the bottom and see if there's any questions. No.
Lou's teaching me how to be an online coach here, aren't you? Cool, mate. Right, Lou, pleasure. We'll do it again.
Definitely.
Take it easy,
Good
boys.
to see us.
And then just press the shed.
Yeah, man. Then what you want to do then? End it.